Hi, in this video we'll have a look at classes in JavaScript. So classes in JavaScript are basically functions with some differences. JavaScript classes can be extended. So you can extend a class, create your own class and inherit the properties of the extended parent class. Classes are not hoisted. Functions are hoisted. So functions are placed on top of the JavaScript file, but classes are not hoisted, so you cannot use a class before defining it as you can do with a function. So let's see our example. So we have a class called student. The student has a constructor. It takes three parameters: id, name and standard. So here we are setting the parameters, this.id, this.name and this.standard. So we have our example here. So we created a student. So you use a new keyword to create a new student and you gave it 2 as the id, Jerry as the name and standard 5th. Our student class also has a function called getStudentDetails and it returns this.id, this.name and this.standard. Here we are calling the method and setting it on demo. So we get 2 Jerry 5th. Next, you can access individual items of a object by calling the object's property. So here you have student2.standard and as you can see student2 has standard 5th, so you get 5th here. That's how you access a property. One important thing here is a class can have static methods. So static methods are generally methods which give you object agnostic data. In simple words, getID is not associated with an object but the class. So if you try to call student2.getID, you will get an error. You have to call student.getID. And here our implementation basically returns a random number between 1 and 100. So you get 41 here. You run it again, you get 54. So you will get a random number every time between 1 and 100. The last important thing to note about a class is class inherits all the properties of a prototype. So you can call hasOwnProperty and check if that property is present on the class or not. So here I am calling hasOwnProperty ID and it is present. If you change it and call it something else like JJJ, student2.hasProperty JJJ and run it, it comes as false because JJJ is not a property of student. So these are some of the things you can do with class in JavaScript. Thanks for watching.